Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Illusion of Gaia. In the last part we started off Angkor Wat here, now we're actually going to go and finish it off. I gotta admit this place is shorter than I remembered it actually. Shorter than I remembered it actually, I forgot a word there, being, there we go. Also, I forgot to mention, Angkor Wat is actually a real place, if I recall correctly at least. I know there's a place that at least looks similar to it. Whether or not Angkor Wat's its actual name, I'm not sure. Anyway, you can actually progress on, but, without doing what I'm about to do, but you were technically supposed to do this, so I'm going to do it anyway. Plus, there's stat power-ups in this direction. In fact, I will say, Angkor Wat, the most difficult part of it is the garden that we did at the end of the last part, because there's just so many enemies, and it's, so maze-like. Ah, just out of reach. Don't you hate it when games do that? They just put one thing, like a goal or enemy, right out of your reach. You have to do some really arduous tasks to get it. Ugh. I'm looking at you. Ooh, which Zelda game did that the worst? I'm not sure which Zelda game did that the worst. Probably Ocarina of Time did a Water Temple, but, Twilight Princess, maybe? No, it did have its cases like that. Ugh. Anyway, we just got a new ability for Frieden. His last ability, actually, Earthquaker. Absolutely useless. You're only required to use it once. It can have its good uses, but other than that, it's pretty bad. What you do is that, when you're Frieden, you jump off a ledge. If you press A while you're falling, he'll do pretty much a downward thrust right out of Zelda 2, and when his sword impacts on the ground, he'll cause an earthquake. And that stuns all enemies on screen. You're only required to use it once here in the game. And even then, you don't actually have to use it if you know how to use the upgraded Dark Friar correctly. As I will demonstrate momentarily. And right about here. If you can use the Dark Friar correctly, you can actually kill that rock golem that was in the top left of the screen there. What that guy is supposed to do is, well, first off, here's the Earthquaker. Press A, get it, stuns enemies. What that rock golem is supposed to do is get in your way, and you might have noticed there was a bit of a narrow pathway there. What he was supposed to do was move in front of the pathway and start his invincible little spin attack thing, but you aren't able to slide past him, so he's pretty much a blockade for you to get that. However, if you use the upgraded Dark Friar correctly, you don't need it at all. Pretty much I got the Dark Friar completely for completion. Actually, speaking of completion, didn't the completionist do an episode of this? Yeah, he did, actually! That was a while back, though, wasn't it? Completionist, I love you. Especially Gerg. Or Greg, sorry. Anyway, I got another HP increase, and we got the second red jewel out of the 4 in this place. Also, it's really, especially if you're me at this point, where your inventory really starts to get cluttered. Because there's a total of 4 red jewels in this place, as I think I mentioned the last part, and by the end of this place, you will have no more than 4 inventory slots left open. So it's around this point that I really do just recommend start sending them the gem with the menu. Because the next reward is at 50, so pretty much you don't need to give them to him in person unless you get that last one. And we got the last appearance of the neck creatures. Thankfully, I hate these guys. Yeah, at the same time, they remind me a lot of the, what were they called? Igors in Zelda? Yeah, they were. You know, Igors in Zelda are really pathetic, especially Majora's Mask. Though at the same time, they take 2 light arrows to kill, so they're at least, they are at least durable. Majora's Mask. One day I shall do you on this channel. But that's gonna have to wait until I'm either able to emulate N64 games correctly, or get my Dazzle to work correctly. Anyway, if you're playing along, you might notice that there's actually still 1 enemy left in this room. You cannot get it at the point that you're first in there, so you're gonna need to wait for that until later. Because I'll admit, actually, this wasn't the first time I had to record the episode, due to various technical issues. I had to re-record it, and I did that for about 3 minutes. You can go up those stairs now, but it's going to be kind of tough to maneuver around for reasons I will show off momentarily. So I'd recommend just waiting till later. And killing all the enemies on this screen gets you a strength increase. I forget what the max stats are, all I know is that apparently I am on track for them, so I'm pretty good. And we're back in this area. Here's the one enemy you couldn't kill before. A bush. And if you've checked right where he was, you get some really slow crawling text. I think I've mentioned it before, but I really hate how slow the item get text goes. We got black crystal glasses, which is sadly not used to increase dark type move, its effectiveness. I think that's what the dark glasses do in Pokemon. But instead, we need to progress onwards. Well, technically you need it. You don't actually, like the Earthquaker, if you know the area perfectly, you don't need it at all, but obviously I need to show them off, so need it. By heading up here, which I recommended skipping later, I might notice those crystals, which look like something right out of Final Fantasy, actually. When you step foot in here, the area starts to glow to the point where the area becomes completely white, will in the enemy's sight, I believe. And unless you know the area by heart, you will need the glasses in order to find your way around. I think speedrunners skip the glasses entirely, so they have it memorized. And really, you don't really lose much, because all there are some pits in here that'll send you down to the bottom floor. And keep in mind, you're actually required to go into some of these pits, namely this one here, because you need to transform into whale to progress onwards, like I did off-screen. And then you're gonna need to slide under here, and I think these are actually no, these are not the last two demon heads. There are three more normal ones, thankfully. And if you're going for completion, you can actually just go up that staircase there, but, well, no, if you're going for completion, don't go up that staircase yet. If you're just playing the game casually, you don't really have to. And we got the fourth to last upgrade to our HP. And in here we got the third red jewel of the area. I'm just gonna cut back to that place upstairs off-screen so we can head back up here. Actually, I'm doing something wrong here. When you fight the dormant purple demon heads, you don't actually have to use Psycho Dash. Psycho Slide actually works better. But, I was being stupid. No harm done, really. And these are actually the last enemies of the area, if I recall correctly. I think so. You know, I recorded this footage not even half an hour ago. You think I would remember this? You actually, you won't be able to kill all the enemies on this screen your first venture through it. I should mention that right now. You can kill both the demon heads here right now, but I generally wait until I'm here later. I was slightly off. There are some more enemies to kill first. If you want to progress, you have to fall down that hole, but if you wanted to go for completion, well, go this way. Because the last red jewel is in this general direction. And sweet, only 2 more HP increases left, and I think they're both in the final dungeon. They should be. And I'm actually gonna send all 4 of these to Gem right now, just because I need the inventory space. I'm actually not sure what happens if you try to pick up a red gem, red jewel when your inventory's full. I've never tried it. Stuff to do for later, I suppose. For a later playthrough if I ever decide to play this game again. I probably will. In like 3 years. Really, at this point, rock golems aren't any threat. In fact, by the time you get late in any dungeon in the game, the enemies in it should no longer be much of a threat because you're just so used to dealing with them. Especially in the Mountain Temple and this, because you just fight so many enemies. Though, if you have trouble with the neck demons, I will understand, because they can be rather annoying. And the final upgrade is a defense upgrade for this place. And we're pretty much in the clear now. this room. This is a bit of a confusing cutscene that I'm not going to read the dialogue to because honestly I just don't care anymore about the story. Well, until the final dungeons. And this flame spirit guy is showing us what looks to be what we consider a normal everyday city. In mode 7. Because, you know, it's cool. I swear it is, I got... But apparently that is a new world that Will is going to usher in. Odd. Oh, JRPG storylines, sometimes you get so weird. And ironically enough, though, I think the most boring RPGs are the ones that are grounded in reality. Well, mostly. If they have some sort of fictional element, they get pretty good. Like, what was the name of that one? Valkyria? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, we got the Gorgon flower there. That's actually the reason we came here, so we can actually cure the people of the JoJo illness back here in the natives' village. The backtracking took about 4 minutes, so I edited it all out. And let's cure the middle one first, just for convenience, because this girl in the middle here has a red jewel for us. Let's send that to Jewel. I think by this point we have 40 actually. And after killing them all, Kara and Eric walk in. And by talking to Kara, I always think there's a cutscene to consider here. We're actually heading to a town in the northwest, which is where the labor traders start. And thus we head on to the final town in the game. We're actually getting really close. If this is longer than 21 parts, I'll be kind of surprised. Welcome to the village of Dao. Which really reminds me of a town in Earthbound. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, though. It's a generic desert town, though. There's not much you can really do in this town other than talk to the citizens. There's a dark space gateway right there. Neil's actually in the house that next to when we entered. Apparently, as you might remember, he was going to research the labor trade that his family started, and it actually led him to here. So if you want to say hi to Neil, you can. We got a letter in our father's journal. We won't be checking that out until next part, just for time's purposes. In terms of red gems, there's a total of 3 you can get here. One of them is from the... Well, actually, no. 2 of them is actually from the minigame right here that we have to do. Pretty much, he's going to send snakes out of these pots, as stereotypical as that is. And you have to take out a certain amount of them to get 2 red jewels from him. I'm not sure how much you need to take out. I always make the requirement either way, so... yeah, just stand underneath the middle one and just alternate left to right. You should do pretty good. I get around 90 here, so it's pretty easy. You know what? I'm gonna look up how many you need. Let's see. Not even certain guides say how many you need to take out. Let's see, what does this say? It doesn't even say the amount, it just says winning the game. Honestly, I think the only way you can lose is if you're just either really slow or just don't try at all. Oh well, but we get red jewels and he sends them directly to Gem. And the last red jewel in the town is pretty well hidden, actually. Check above this crook and you find it. And I'm just going to show off where Gem is for later purposes. He's right here. And with that, he has 44 out of the 50 jewels. We're getting really close. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And next time on Let's Play Illusion of Gaia, we're going to start off by actually looking at those 2 items that the guy right here gave us. Let me just reorder my inventory to do that. And then see what we have to do after that. So, see you guys then.